so I talked to Gugelni, the head of department, who's not here. But I told him that I informed him of the change. He said, okay, we keep it for next week because nobody will come. And later I have seen the message of Mr. Lem saying that everything is set. Anyway, this doesn't matter even if we study 20 minutes. Mr. Lem, she is the deputy of the head of the department. Well, you should ask those kind of questions and you will know. Yeah. Okay. I hope that what we talked about last time is still in your mind. Yeah. What did we stop?
Nobody remembers. Talking about my school.
Why?
Yeah.
Why speaking first? Yeah, functionally speaking. So we spoke about the functional aspect of writing. We said that compared to speaking, it's not too functional. So we highlighted different parts or different points of difference and similarity between speaking and writing. The most important part in this, of course, it's important to know about the differences, but the most important part is that nowadays we should differentiate between ordinary writing and academic writing. And we said what? Agree with me? Let me ask you a question. When we study writing at the beginning level, what kind of writing is this?
Writing sentence.
No, what kind of writing? Ordinary. General. Yeah. Not academic. Because at that stage, we are not under the academic boundaries or the academic restrictions. We said that the academic restrictions, they are more mature. It means they require objectivity, and you cannot expect somebody who is beginning to write to respect those norms. Okay? Today we're going to speak about the theoretical considerations or theoretical background of writing and how writing has evolved. If you remember last time, we said that writing has underwent or has gone through the same developmental stages of teaching methods. Do you understand this statement?
Please repeat.
I said that writing has gone through the same developmental stages as teaching methods.
Okay.
What do we mean by this?
Methods of teaching developed through time by enhancing on some aspects. For example,
By time. So every time a suggestion was given or a method was established, it was always criticized, and based on that criticism, we advance another method. Okay? Can you please change your seat and come here, girls? I want to have a central visual on everybody. And the same for you. By the way, did you like the marks?
no.
Next time, inshallah, do your best. Look at marks. They were given with consideration, believe it or not. Next time, inshallah, I give you piece of advice. Piece of advice. Never receive the work of a partner and not check it. And two, most of the works contain partial plagiarism. Most of them. But to have them, not speaking about the level of writing, That was another issue. But I told you, I promised you, anybody who writes a paragraph, if it is the lowest level, he gets 10. Plagiarism, you go down. Are you with me? Until now, I did not see a task that requires, that tests somebody and requires little effort from him. زي مش حاجة سهلة على جهة. Okay, نقول لكم حاجة. When you write a paragraph and نوصيك ونعاود, and I tell you, please do not copy and paste from internet. ChatGPT ولا اللي تحب نجيبوه. In the end, you cannot do something on your own. That little, كيف راح تكتب dissertation? Good. Then you copy paste. What do you think?
I think that everyone is responsible for his work, actions. Everybody knows what he.
Next time, inshallah, you will have 2 false exams. Are you with me? It's not better. For you, it's not better. What? Well, I hope so. I'm not trying to read the future. But next semester, inshallah, true, false examination.
Only 2 false?
Yes. You have only one evaluation. عجبتني هذيك تاع الشيخ translation قال لهم الشيخ نقصنا انا نقطه ما زدنا نقصها هي هذيك اللي ناقصه زدت لهم عليها بالمقلوب. Anyway, so we were saying that yes, the writing method has been established. The same way teaching methods have been established. Teaching methods are general. We know that writing is specific. Now, you have all heard of the audiolingual method, for example. And you know that audiolingual method. I mean, we've had a discussion about that, even if you did not know about it. We have opened a lot of brackets that I remember. So we talked about the audiolingual method, and we talked about some of its disadvantages. Even if you do not remember that, please tell me what you have studied in third year about the disadvantages of the audiolingual method. Why was it established?
After the direct method, it's behavioristic.
It is structural behavioristic.
It was called army method. It was used to teach the soldiers.
Yes. It was used to teach the soldiers, yes?
And they use similarities between the L1.
Yes? Behaviorist basics. Yes.
Similarities between L1 and L2.
It focuses on the similarities?
Yeah.
Are you sure? That's not maybe in the audiolingual method, maybe in grammar translation. Look, what was the problem with that method?
Neglecting the writing skills.
Yes?
Neglecting the writing skills. On fasting, on the speaking
Only in
skills, especially
communication.
Okay, watch out. This is not completely true, by the way.
It's
Right? Yes?
can't be used outside. Like it's not for. Doesn't have communicative.
Yes, it does not have it does not have a communicative feature. Yes? Yes. Or it does not. There was little use. There was little use. Were they supposed to? Are you sure? That's, this is an advantage. Well, this is an advantage. Yes? Lack of creativity.
They focused on listening and speaking on the expense of writing and reading.
Not really true. Not really true, yeah. Because that method was established for the purpose of speaking and listening. Not for something, not for language. It is wrong to say that. Because there was another method at the same time that was similar, that focused on writing. So the audiolingual method, it was used as you have said, but I want you to focus on that aspect, the lack of creativity. The audiolingual method, when it was used by the army to do what?
Communicate.
No,
To
to
understand.
prepare spies. To prepare spies. You know what's a spy? Yeah. Yeah. To prepare spies. It was used by the army to prepare people who can communicate. That's why they thought that at that time, because the behavioristic mentality was reigning over the academia, they thought that if we said structural behavioristic, by the way, structural behavioristic. They thought that if we expose people to structures of language, because they are a concrete part of language, are you with me? Repeatedly, they can acquire language. So what they focused on is that they give them the product, they try to repeatedly, let's say, we call it rote learning, R-O-T-E. Repeatedly expose them to the content and ask them to reproduce it. Are you with me? It means that they listen, and then they repeat. And so they focus on the input and the output, but not really, let's say, in a deep manner. That's why when those learners were supposed to communicate, by the way, there's also information that's missing here.
So
And
what's
very
the
important.
difference between memorizing and writing?
I told you it's rote learning. It's called.
What's the difference between memorizing
Rote
and writing?
learning is when you learn through memory.
So it's memorizing.
It's called, technical term is rote learning.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Just to simplify things for me.
Yeah. So we said that rote, it is called rote learning. And rote learning means that you
Driven.
learn through
Repetition.
repetition and memorizing. Memorizing, because memory comes with repetition. Except for those who are very
So,
like
you
yeah.
need to reflect. So, this is for the part.
Yeah, that's the problem. But before that, you have to understand that for the army, it was more successful than the academic round. You have to bear that in mind. Are you with me? It was more successful, which means those who have been trained in the army, those who have been trained under the audiolingual method, they were successful in communicating compared to the others. Legally, why? I will. By the way, Basimi and some students, you owe me 2 points. I still did not give you those points. Inshallah, I will make a correction. Please send me the. It's Basimi and. Let me check. Do not forget. Because what they did, just to encourage you, was not to encourage you to do the same to get points, to encourage you to do the same. Because it could be that if you do that, you get تبريكة, not points. Qasimi Ekram, Sassi Manal, and Abzouzi. Yeah, Abzouziri. By the way, Abzouziri, she sent me an email saying that she's sick.
Yes. She had a surgery.
Wallah, she's good, she's right.
She's recovered.
Alhamdulillah. Quick recovery, inshallah. لا بأس في ميزان حسنة. Maybe we have some accumulated dhunub that we need to get rid of. By getting sick, it's like a bus stop, where you have to unload all your sins and bad deeds. Anyway, so we said that it was more successful in matter of communication. What's the matter here? We said that maybe this detail, maybe you did not see it before. When we speak about the failure is reported about this method being applied in the academic field or in the educational field. Are you with me? Now, it was successful. Why? Because those soldiers who were prepared as spies, they did not have other options than to merge in. You are uncovered, you die. So it was, I mean, the missing part was fulfilled from the part of the soldiers, because they know if they fail, they die. You make a mistake in conjugate, you make a mistake even in, for example, calling something with a sin it, you are uncovered. Are you with me? That's why it came with much anxiety. It's either you fail or you are successful. But when it was in the academic or educational field, things have changed. They were trying to expose people to repeated patterns of language, believing that those structures, if they are repeatedly transferred to the mind, or not to the mind, they did not believe about the mind by establishing this, transferred to the habits of human beings, they would make human beings successful in acquiring language. While it was not the case. Why? Because most of those learners, if not all, they were not able to communicate or to be creative. And when we say creative, it's to communicate, because you cannot communicate without creating your own ideas. Are you with me? Creating your own ideas, remember, always remember this notion. You are studying in a field of thought, in linguistics, second year, you have studied a very important principle in generative, transformational generative grammar, grammaticality. Do you remember it? Deep structure and surface structure. Grammaticality, it is what controls creativity. It means we cannot be creative just like that, because if we are creative in our own way, nobody will understand us. We have to be creative within the grammatical boundaries. Are you with me? Yes. That's what we mean being communicative. Because creativity alone without grammar, it's like a Gillian Grump. I gave you the lesson. Did you understand? So you see, yes, it's my own creation. So nobody will understand it because it does not obey to common rules or common norms. Okay? So we said that they were not successful. In that sense, they were exposed to limited patterns. Those patterns were not understood, and that's why when you spoke about the meaning, it's true. They did not understand the meaning. But really from, not in the meaning that those texts, they were lacking meaning. They were meaningful texts. Yeah. But the context in which they were studying them was not justified, because it's always the context that gives you meaning. Even if you do not know English at all, you start studying it for the first time, you are exposed to text within a specific context, you understand it. You lack the context, you don't understand it. That's why those texts that were ripped from, somewhere, they did not match the context of the learners. That's why now, when we speak about materials, I hope you remember what's a material.
Authentic material.
Yes, that's why when we speak about materials, we speak about the materials that is learner-centric, not teacher-centric. Are you with me? Because if they are not clear, even if you explain to them word by word, and it's an area out of the area of their expertise, or out of the area of their habits, they don't know it. Are you with me? So it is very important to understand. Though this failure, it is the same that was experienced in the audiolingual method. It was the same failure that was experienced in the guided composition method. Guided composition, it is the same method that was done for writing. Are you with me? Guided composition, it is the same method, but for writing. Same method as audiolingual, but for writing. Yes?
Does it have another?
Guided composition.
Does it have another name?
well, I don't recall it. I'm not going to tell you no, but I don't think so. Guided composition. You have never heard of it?
No.
Right.
This came as an add to the ALM or as a field of it or what?
No, we are speaking here about, this lesson of today is divided into focuses. So the theoretical consideration, remember, we're just starting from the timeline, chronological order. The beginning, we said that everything started with an attempt. For the beginning, this is the first attempt. How do we call this? Those who have, according to Key Highland, a very renowned scholar who has talked about those, let's say, methods in a way of focus. So he said that at the beginning, they focused on form. After that, they focused on function. After that, they focused, when we are going to see all of them. And they are in the program, by the way. I was supposed to share with you the objective of the program. But since most of you were not here, and left because of the bus, I did not do this. So, we said that there is focus on job, focus on form, there is focus on function, there is focus on creative expression, there is focus on process, and there is finally the focus on the genre and the eclectic method at the end. You understand what's eclectic?
Yeah.
It's like a method that appears at the end to take the benefits of all. We can say that the process is considered also as the process method is considered as an eclectic method too. Are you with me? So we said that the guided composition. Are you with me?
Yes.
It is within. It is within the focus on form. They focus on form. The guided composition, but yeah? Why?
You can say part and
Guided composition.
in writing in general.
Please concentrate. I said that those stages, they represent the development of teaching, writing, and method. The first of them is the focus on form. At the beginning, they believed that if we go focus on the form, we're going to obtain good results, just like the audiolingual method. They said if we focus on teaching language, by teaching the form, because when you give them, when they listen and when they repeat, it's only the form, there is no meaning. So they believed that this would be successful. In the end, it was not, because the users or the learners were not able to communicate. Are you with me? Is this clear?
Yes.
Okay. That's why we said the focus on the guided composition belongs to the focus on form. Now the focus on form was criticized. Are you? Yeah. It was criticized. Why? Because it was not efficient. It did not give good results. The learners were not able to communicate efficiently, or were not able to produce writing. So when they criticized the focus on form, the one who came after them, they said, okay, maybe we need to understand more about this structure, more than the form of the structure. What about the function? Are you with me? So they said, what if we teach those learners the function of those sentences? Remember when we spoke about the function. Now, when we spoke about the function, we defined two types of functions. What are they?
Grammatical and lexical.
What?
Grammatical and lexical.
Remember when we have described, we did not do this. It's a problem with you. Well, remember when I was giving you the dimensions of the text? I told you there is a textual level, there is a sentential level, there is a level, there is a non-linguistic level, there is a functional level. It's divided into two. Basic level, functional level, and the advanced. The basic is well, so I mean, well, no. Well, class, I move forward. I told you that when we move to the functional sense, do you remember the dimensions of the text? What are they? Because it's the same, it's a matter of reading and writing. You need them when you write, you need them when you read. Yes. What are they? بالك ما تحبونيش بالك ها ولا غير صح تقولوا لي ما نحبكم قرايه معنا نورمال I bring another teacher والله العظيم just tell me this face to face والله ما نزهق وحتى من بعد اذا ما صرتكم teacher ما نتعقمش منكم تخافوش very okay the way you think if you do not like the way I'm teaching you because I'm trying to treat you as human beings by the way Hey, I'm trying to treat you as human beings. Human beings understand, memorize. I'm not trying to treat you, not saying as all teachers, not to refer to, because I do not know the way you're being taught, as vegetables. احفظ جيب. ثم لا قولوا لي, if you don't like this, if I'm not clear when I'm explaining, شوف بالك انا حتى بدل الصراحة. اللي يقعد يفهم يكريتيكيوه.
Sir, I believe the only little issue here is that we need to to make plans for our lessons. We need to see the plan of the lessons.
I gave you the plan of the lessons for the first semester, yes? I'm about to give you the second, don't worry. Khafour, if this is the problem, it shouldn't exist in the first place because I already shared with you the program. Hello?
Yes.
I didn't. I did. No. I'm willing to give you the program too. If you were you present last time? When we have talked, we said that our program is going to be divided into 3 parts: theoretical, practical, and one above the evaluation. It means what is the theoretical background of writing? It's short. Then after that we move to the practical part. What are the tasks? What are the activities that we can do? What are the types of instruction that we can practice with our students? And after that we move how to evaluate. Okay? You can send me a reminder. I was willing also to discuss the program with you if you remember, but course ما خليناش. It was time of course. Now we are safe to death from course. That's why I'm telling you, please, are there any issues before we move forward? نبدلوهم. Data show?
No, using the board.
Data show?
Using the board.
Are you sure that the content that I am transferring it can be effectively used on the board?
Yes.
No. It's not that I did not use the board at all. I used it when necessary. But if you think that it is too necessary, معليش. I can use the board. Even if I'm accustomed to typing more than writing on the board. So, projection tool is not always allowed because I promised you to show you how to take notes. Data show ماشي دايما available. انتوما ماشي حارسين خاطر قلت لكم كاين projection tool هنا. ها؟ كل شيء سقسيتو بوغرني. بوغرني ما على بالوش سقسيتو لاجون هنا. وبدلوا لي لاجون.
هم سامعين لا نقراو هنا.
والله ما مسلمين. على سقسا إحنا في الديبارتمون مسلمين. اسمنا من برنامج قري سنة أولى في خميس هنا. جيتوا يدوزوا في الإكزام. تاع الديبارتمون دونغلي. ما قالوا لنا لا Anyway, that's not the issue. Let's get back to our business, please. So we said that the dimensions of a text, معليش نتفكرون, but please, those things they need to be recalled. Recalled. مش نفكر, you recall them after you understand them. We said that in a text we have a lexical level, we have a sentential level, textual level, and we have a functional level, and we have the non-linguistic level. For the lexical level, it's the level of words. You know that when you write and when you read, you need a background of words, because now, we have solved that issue of interaction between the reader and the text. Before we believed that the text can only modify the reader, but now we know that the reader can also modify the text, because he adds his own understanding. Now, I write or I read, I must have a background of words, lexical choice. And at the same time, those words, they need to be bound together to form sentences. This is the second level, sentential level. And we have the third, the textual level. The sentences at the same time, they need to be connected together. That's why we speak about coherence and cohesion. Okay? In most of the situations, they are the same thing. But cohesion refers to the words, the grammar, and coherence refers to the meaning. But you will find that they are, two facets of the same coin. And after that, we have the functional level. We divided the functional level in order not to confuse, or to get confused by those two levels, because even in writing, I told you, focus in writing, you are having too much knowledge to retain, I believe. So we said that the basic level is the level of how we put the sentences and where we put them, because we know that if we define the function by order, a topic sentence is a topic sentence only because it's at the beginning of a paragraph. If you put it in the middle, it's no longer a topic sentence. Maybe it could be an incoherent supporting detail, but it will never be accepted as a topic sentence. A topic sentence is the one that always comes at the beginning. It's determined by the function. Its function is to give the general idea. It's not logical to put it in the middle. Are you with me? So the sentences, they have order. The supporting sentences, they come in the middle. Concluding sentences, they have the, let's say, attitude, or they have the, the tendency to prepare you for the comment point, to close the previous point and to connect you to the comment point. So those sentences, if we devoid them from meaning, they are there just by looking at them. If we follow the English rules, I give you a paragraph that you don't understand, you understand the function without knowing the meaning. Okay, I know that the first one is topic sentence, the one in the middle are supporting detail, and at the end it's... So this is the basic level of function. The advanced level, now what we are speaking about here, focus on function, is about this basic level. There is a second function, which is the focus on genre. I told you focus on genre. It is the advanced level. Why? Because the focus on genre, when you speak about genre, you speak about story, you speak about narratives, you speak about argumentative, you speak about descriptive. Now let me ask you, if I describe something, do I have to follow certain grammatical patterns?
Obviously.
If I tell a story, do I have to focus on certain grammatical patterns? I say to focus, not to obey them 100%. Yes, which means that the purpose of the writer, or the purpose of the text, it is the advanced functional level. In the reality, it is what controls. Are you with me? It is what controls the structure of the text. That's why we said, focus on function. It is about the first level in the dimensions of the text. It's not about the advanced. Because in the end, when we reach focus on genre, it is related to the second advanced level in the text. Okay? So, focus on genre, focus on what?
Genre. Advanced level.
No, the one that we are about to see. Focus on function. In writing, خلاص, okay. Forget about that background. We said that they focused on the form and they were criticized. Those who criticized them advanced the idea of focusing on the function. What is the function? It's level 1. It is the function of those sentences within the text. Or we let's not say focus of those sentences. Let's call them units, because they could be paragraphs inside an essay. Are you with me? So it's the function of those units of the text. It could be, we know that the body paragraph will never be at the beginning. It's always at the center. And the concluding paragraph, it's never at the middle or in the middle. It's at the end. So for everything, there is a determined function. So they said, what if we teach those learners the function of those sentences? It will introduce them a little bit to the meaning. Remember the example that I gave you in the first semester about a prey gnawed a nail, or a nail gnawed a prey. I said when we don't understand the full sentence, we know by nature that the first is subject, the second is verb, the third is object. So they said that the problem was with the meaning. What if we introduce them a little bit to the meaning by knowing about the functions of sentences? So whenever they see the paragraph, they are exposed to it. They try to repeat it, to write it again, because it's guided composition, just like the audiolingual method. The audiolingual, they listen, they reproduce. In the guided composition, they write, they read, and they write, they reproduce. Okay? So they said maybe the lack of meaning in that will be compensated by explaining to them that this is the function of each unit in the text. Now the question is this enough? It was not enough. Why? Because it did not introduce them to being productive. They were always blocked. It means whenever they need. And please, remember this order. Chronological order of things. They started with form, they moved to the function, and now they were criticized by other scholars, and another focus has appeared, which is creative expression. In the creative expression, they said that all those problems of not, at the beginning it was giving a raw text and reproducing it. They were reproducing it like robots. The second, they said, okay, what if we explain to them about the function of those units within this text? It was the same. They understood about the function in those units of the text, but they were not able to reproduce. The third party, who focused on creative expression, they came and said, okay, it's a problem. We need to produce. You are here not giving importance to the productive part of the human being. So what if we give it the productive, or what we give them the freedom to produce? Are you with me? What if we give them the freedom to produce? They said, okay, let's make a rule. There should be no rule. Are you with me? In the creative expression, they said focusing on the structural aspect will just block the learners from creating their ideas. So we should put less restrictions, or we should lessen the restrictions on grammar and on the functional aspect of, or the functional, let's say, obligations of a text, and we give them the opportunity to create whatever they want. Okay, create in their own way. And when we say creative expression, It's creative expression, accepting everything. Just imagine what kind of mistakes you will receive when you ask somebody to, or what kind, let's say, of creative, let's not call them mistakes, because this, in that method, this is also considered as a non-acceptable word. Because they said, those prescriptive aspects is what restricts the user or the learner from producing. So we need to get rid of every restriction. Okay? I tell you, for example, think of that famous joke. ذهبت أنت ووالدك في يوم إلى رحلة ووجهتك عراقي. You know the joke. You know it.
Of course.
So the one who answered, ذهبت في يوم من الأيام أنا ووالدي إلى في رحلة ووجهتنا عراقيل فذبح أبي العرقيل الأول فعرضت العراقيل الأخرى. Now, this is in some sense, this is creativity, but it is not bound by the social understanding. Now, the idea is that, you give them the opportunity to create, they give you whatever thing. They even give you maybe sometimes some productions that come from L1. Are you with me? Because you're not putting restrictions. Anything that contributes to the development of your idea is accepted. This method was not really successful. Why? Because it did not give focus, or it focused much on creativity, but it did not focus on correcting mistakes. That's why the users, whenever they developed their ability to create, it was raw, it was not controlled. It was with mistakes and it was not acceptable in the field of education. Are you with me? Because when you say, okay, allow them to create, just expect whatever thing. Are you with me? That's why now they said, Ya Jama'ah. Okay, yeah, you have focus. A fourth party. Focus on what? Focus on process. Those who suggested to focus on process, قالوا لهم يا جماعة, please, you have first درتوا رايكم, focused on form, خلينا معلش, no production. Bukatuma, you criticized the other, you said they are focusing on the form, not the function. You focused on the function, still no results. Sidi قلتوا لنا it's problem with those rules, and you focused on the creative expression, still no results. We do not see any other aspect that can be tackled here. That's why I told you process is in some form eclectic. Are you with me? The process, they did not advance anything. They just suggested an order of action. Are you with me? They just suggested an order of action. They said, you focused on each party, each focus can make square-minded. Tells you, okay, they focused on the form, I focused on creative expression, that's what I know. In reality, process told them, there is a problem, every part of you is needed, but there is a problem with the order. Now, no, the order of those focuses. When you write, when you have learned writing, you start with brainstorming or with the grammatical revision? Creative expression. The order is reversed now. It developed with form, then function, then creative expression. Process get لهم لا لا. معليش, you have come in ordered in time, but the three of you are very important. But the creative expression should start first. Whenever I suggest a process of writing that comes with
Creative expression.
Which is brainstorming is the activity of creative expression. That's why, I don't know, when I used to teach my students writing here at university, I used to tell them, don't think. When you brainstorm, don't think.
Yeah. After that,
whatever comes to your mind, just say it. And after that, we move to the clustering part, where you organize. And the clustering part is like a transition, moving from. شوفوا. Moving from the brainstorming to what?
Outline.
To the outline. The outline represents what? Function. Because you are putting every order, you are putting the sentences in order. They are not connected, but each sentence, first, second, third, fourth. Are you with me? This order is an order of function. So, see, we are moving from creative expression, because they have said, if you give the mind the rules from the beginning, the mind won't work. So the trick is to unleash the mind, allow it to be creative, and after that,
Narrow down.
we narrow down through the clustering, and then we organize the functions of each part of our IDs. Are you with me? And after we move to that, we move to the form grammar, editing, drafting, as you call it. We develop the IDs into structures. In the outline, we try to give them a correct grammatical form. So you see, the process has reversed the order. First, it was the method of form. Second, function. Third, what? Creative expression, yes? And finally, creative expression. Finally, the process has done an organization, but it was still not enough. Because, you know, we said that the functional level in the text dimensions is divided into two. Basic
and advanced.
and advanced. When we say advanced, it's advanced with all meaning. Okay, you cannot master your purpose unless you master all the previous dimensions. Are you with me? You cannot master your purpose well. Okay, I want to tell you a story, and I don't know about the past simple or the past tense. Are you with me? I want to tell you a story, or to write about a story, or write a story. I do not know about some, let's say, beautiful adjectives, attributes, as we call it. So it's a problem. So it's advanced. Why? Because when we move to an advanced level, we study the different purposes of writing. We need, in order to fulfill the genre, to fulfill the purpose of or the intentionality that we have in the text, we need to master those. You don't master just one part, one level, your functionality will not be fulfilled. We say the whole functionality, or the genre, or the purpose, or the intentionality. Because in text linguistics, it is called intentionality. The intentionality of the author. Now, you tell me, does this mean that students, when they are at a basic level, they don't have intentions when they write? No, they do. It just, we do not really care about the quality of the genre they provide when they are at early levels. But the more they advance, the more we expect them to be good at all the levels to fulfill their function. Okay, you ask somebody to describe, for example, the event of Ramadan. Descriptive text. He starts giving you some descriptions, but in the middle of this description, he jumps to telling you an event in the past that happened. This does not mean that this is not allowed. It's allowed, but it requires much effort. Why? Because whenever you make a move in writing, you need to know how to make transitions. Look at, you are in a descriptive stance, speaking about the present, and then you jump to the past. Just imagine the skill that somebody needs. Now, دركا, that's the problem. دوكا السيد بالدرجة يحكي عادي. هو يقول لك رمضان ها وش نديروا ها وش نديروا حقا واحد الخطرة كنا نلعبوا بالبيض نمخضوه مليح ونتيريوه على الجيران. ما درتوهاش. أنا على الكورة ما تخرجوا بالليل لا تخرجوا كنتوا تخرجوا. درتوها ولا لا؟ ما في. بس نسيتوني لو ما كنتم قاعدين الولا. Next time إن شاء الله. المرة الجاية ما كان لا شيطان لا. As I told you, اوكي يقول لك هو حقه كنا شوف او يحكي لك descriptive شو قال لك حقه this is part of his expertise هو يعرف الدرجة يقدر يحكي لك بالدرجة. اوكي هو هذا skill. It's a skill نية intentionality عنده بس he does not have the tools. يحب يدير نفس الشيء بالانجلي وش يدير؟ يخرج لك خربيطة. Are you with me? Because he lacks شوفوا هنا he wanted to use an advanced manipulation. He applied this in English. Why he lacks proficiency? هنا what's the problem? The problem is at the textual level. He lacks textual manipulation. خربطها. تقول لي شو يقول؟ خرج وبدأ يهدر. Look, when he lacks vocabulary, lexical level, this is also its effect. Are you with me? That's why I told you that the focus on genre, it is something that in the process was not considered at the beginning, but it was considered later. هم ذوك قال لك أنا what I need is to make the reader, the writer, productive in a correct way. But is it in a relevant way? That's the concern of the focus on genre. Relevance of writing requires mastery of all those dimensions that we have talked about of the text. Are you with me? ماشي مفهومة؟
This is the focus of genre.
Relevant of writing.
What?
Can you repeat the
Relevance of writing. Relevance of writing. I said that you can call it the relevance of your writing. The focus on genre. Now just imagine عاودكم نفس الستوري line. Okay, yeah, the first he said focus on genre. Focus on form. Incomplete. Focus on form. On function. Incomplete. Focus on creative expression. Still incomplete. Focus on process. Told them, go last. Come first. Okay, we have taught them how to produce